Hey there, friends. Brian King here with another installment of A Cup of Focus. I have my great big cup of joe this morning. Trying something a little different though. I put some almond milk in it that's vanilla flavored instead of my typical vanilla creamer, which, as it turns out, was probably causing a log jam, if you know what I mean. So we want to remedy that ASAP. And, I haven't been with you for a couple days, and that's basically because sometimes I get ideas for doing this first thing in the morning, in which case I broadcast. But if I get them later in the day, I tend to do a lengthier written post. So just so you can look out for that. In any case, let's talk about hope. For some people, hope is a dangerous thing. So much so that they will sabotage themselves to prevent themselves from feeling it. Let me give you an example. Somebody who is very negative, who is always insisting that, no, it's never going to work, why bother, it's, me, I always make a mistake. They talk themselves out of the option of succeeding before they even take their first step. And for some people, they might look at that as an outsider and assume that, oh, you're just being negative. Oh, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You just like being negative. No, it's not a like being negative. It's not even a fear of failure. It's a fear of feeling hope once again, only to have it taken away from you. There are some people, all or nothing thinkers typically, the ADHD folks, who think that you either need to be happy all the time or miserable all the time, but those should be states that you can maintain. They shouldn't be states that are temporary. So once you're happy, you should always be happy. That's the thought process of an all or nothing thinker. It's also a very perfectionistic way of seeing things. That my life is only perfect when I'm happy all the time, when I am succeeding all the time. Well, you and I both know that life exists in the grays, and happiness, sadness, all emotions, all success exists on a continuum. In fact, let me give you a little context here. One of my most favorite quotes of all time is from Thomas Edison. And he said, "Our greatest weakness lies in giving up, and that the surest way to success is to try again just one more time." And I've quoted this many times before in other videos because it's so applicable to so many different things. And in this conversation, it means that once you've tasted hope, once you've tasted that it can get better, you have to hunger for that taste. You have to keep going after it. I don't think that Abe Lincoln, who failed at Senate races, at local races before he eventually won the presidency, I don't imagine that he sat there and said, okay, well, this didn't work at the local level. Let me do exactly the same thing I did at the state level. I'm sure it'll work there. No, he probably changed it up a little bit. I'm sure he tweaked it and improved based on the feedback he got from previous efforts so that he could adjust it accordingly and improve what he was doing. And that's one thing that people that are afraid of hope typically don't do. They think that, oh, it didn't go right. That's because there's something wrong with me. It's because the universe hates me, because people have it out for me, whatever reason they give to convince themselves that it's only going to go negatively. See, the puppies understand what I'm talking about here. They're convinced that no matter what they do, it's going to end up the same way. Well, when you're dealing with, again, an all or nothing inflexible mind, it doesn't occur to them necessarily to do something different, because they think that the way they've thought of it makes perfect sense and it should work that way. Doesn't. You got to change things up. And one thing that I can't emphasize enough, one thing that's really kept me going all these years, is the belief in my mind that not only can it get better, but it must get better. I insist upon it. Because the taste of hope of success is so sweet that I would rather have a temporary taste of hope than the familiar bitterness of the status quo. Does that make sense? Because there's a lot of people that say, they stay where they are because it's comfortable. I wouldn't say it's comfortable. I'd say it's familiar. There's a big difference. You can be familiar with getting treated like crap every single day, but that doesn't mean you're comfortable with it. It just means you're afraid to hope, to try one more time, to demand more of this life, to demand of yourself that you persevere. Now that's a P word to get behind because, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, perfectionism tends to be what drives a lot of people with all or nothing thinking. But you don't want to strive for perfection. You want to strive to be more persevering, to try just one more time, like Edison said. Because honestly, what else are you going to do with your time? Are you going to go on Facebook and spend half an hour authoring a rant? Are you going to binge watch Netflix? Are you going to catch up on the latest episode of your favorite sitcom? You know, a sitcom that's not teaching you anything about how to improve your life. It's not going to move the needle one way or the other. But you got time for that. But you don't have time to try one more time. To take the one seed of hope that's been planted for you based on your previous experience and see if you can't get that little booger to germinate the next time. So that's what I encourage you to start doing. In any case, I've got a client in a few minutes, so I got to let you go right now. If there's anything I can do to help you, just reach out, because this is what I do. If there's anybody that can benefit from this, please share it with them. And until we talk again, this has been Brian. Thanks for being you.